I think there's a lot being done, especially, post 2018, where you saw the market take a big decline. And I think the one thing that's happened is the market is maturing, and people are quickly realizing that they have to work with regulators and embrace regulation. So I think a lot of that's being done, especially in the U.S. I know Commissioner Clayton's generally been very supportive of private companies and expanding their access to capital. However, he's not the biggest fan of blockchain and security tokens. So that's been a challenge, and there's been a lot of efforts to kind of work with regulators to, in a very collaborative effort, to try to get regulators comfortable with security token offerings and the benefits that could provide to small business capital formation. I think there's been a lot of issues and unanswered questions that a lot of people in the industry are trying to work with regulators to get answers to. Yeah, from SeedInvest's perspective, selfishly, we'd like to get guidance on the custody issue. So that's been a big thing that's been holding regulated entities like SeedInvest, who operate through broker-dealers. That's been holding them back from really being able to be active and push the industry forward. And the reason why custody is important is for a lot of these issuers, they do these raises and they're looking for their investors to be able to custody at normal custodians like you would for registered offerings in an IPO, whether it's a clearing firm or a brokerage account. And so there's a similar need for it in the private space in order to push the industry forward. And what that really is trying to get towards is secondary markets, and that's where the industry really sees the utility of blockchain technology. They've said a lot without saying much. So they recently put out a joint statement with FINRA, which didn't give any particular guidance. It essentially just acknowledged that they're aware of the issues and are working towards it. Did point out some of the challenges and issues that they're thinking about, but at the same time, it didn't give anybody in the industry real guidance to act on. One of their big concerns is, one, cybersecurity generally in the space. It's a new space that they're still learning. And there are a lot of people within the SEC and FINRA who are very sophisticated on the issue. The other issue is customer protection. So things around protecting customers' funds and assets at broker-dealers, and understanding how they could truly protect customers due to the uniqueness of the digital security tokens. There's a lot of demand, a lot of pent-up demand, and to be honest, you're starting to see is a lot of that demand actually move overseas, which is setting the U.S. behind. And so one thing we're trying to hammer home and urge regulators is that it's important to get guidance so we could push the industry forward in the U.S. so we don't lose market share overseas. So there's certain jurisdictions that are just like opening the floodgates and anything goes. I don't think that's the best long-term strategy, and so what we're looking towards is jurisdictions that are thinking about it in a very progressive approach, that this is a new asset class and a new type of security, and we can't treat it like a traditional security that's been around for the past 80 years. We need to have a new approach and a new regulatory framework towards security tokens and really be thoughtful about it versus trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I think ideally we'd like to see to tear it up and start from scratch and really build something that's built for the 21st century and blockchain technology, as well as traditional security issuances has worked for a while but just not suited for the new technology, as well as additional guidance. So things around custody and around cybersecurity, so we could really start to push the industry forward and actually start to progressively work on some of these digital asset offerings. And it's not going to be perfect, and one of the critical things to achieving that is a very active and robust feedback loop, so practitioners in the industry could give feedback directly to regulators in real time and also see real-time changes and updates as things happen, versus the traditional way of how laws and congressional action works, where it may take years to see even incremental changes, let alone significant ones.